Next game is the Bucs and the Colts. The Colts took this one 27-20. Baker Mayfield was 20 of 30, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He also had 3 carries for 14 yards. Just a nice middle-of-the-road streaming sort of day. I could see someone in a 16-team league having Baker Mayfield as their every week starter, but other than that, he's just a really high-end fill-in sort of player that you want to play with the matchups. Rachaad White, 15 carries, 100 yards. He came into this with a really weird injury situation. A late addition to the injury report late in the week is usually bad news, but I got the feeling that they kind of wanted to get ahead of it. They didn't want to get in a situation like with Joe Burrow where he had the cast on his hand and everyone's trying to figure out why he wasn't on the injury report. They had Rachaad White. It sounded like something minor late in the week, but they just didn't want to get in trouble for it, so they put him on the injury report as a precaution. Really weird stuff, but still, Rachaad White looking like someone you want to play in your lineup every week. 2 catches for 10 yards is low for him, but 15 carries, 100 yards, not doing anything to say that he shouldn't continue being the workhorse in this backfield. Keep playing him every week, just looking like a really amazing floor play. Chase Edmonds just the 1 carry for 11 yards in this one, but if Rachaad White were to miss, then Chase Edmonds would be the ad for sure. Mike Evans, 6 catches, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns on 9 targets. Play him every single week, especially with a good matchup. He's just a touchdown machine. Chris Godwin, a little disappointing, 3 catches, 45 yards, 7 targets. He's going to be a little more up and down, more of a floor play. Someone you want to play when you're in a desperate situation at receiver, not someone necessarily you want to lock into your lineup. Cade Otton, 4 catches, 45 yards on 4 targets. Another guy, similar to Chris Godwin. He's probably not going to light the world on fire, but he can get you a really solid floor every single week. Not necessarily you want someone who can just lock into your lineup at your tight end spot every single week. Trey Palmer, the rookie, had 4 catches for 17 yards on 5 targets. I think he's an interesting dynasty play if something like Evans and Godwin have had injury issues in the past, so if that were to happen, then Trey Palmer would be relevant. Payne Durham had an amazing catch, just the 1 catch for 12 yards, though, for him. Rachaad White had the 2 for 10, and Chase Edmonds did not haul in his only target, and David Moore did not haul in his only target. For the Colts, Gardner Minshew was 24-41, 251 yards, no touchdowns, an interception. He also had 3 carries for 6 yards and a rushing touchdown. Super similar to Baker Mayfield. I think he's just someone you play with the matchups, not necessarily someone you want to have plugged into your lineup every single week. Jonathan Taylor, 15 carries for 91 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. He didn't have any receiving work in this one, but, I mean, when you run like that, it doesn't really matter because, what is that, 12 plus 9? That's 21.1 fantasy points. So we'll take that every single day of the week. Play Jonathan Taylor every single time, regardless of matchup. Lineup lock, absolutely. Zach Moss, 8 carries for 55 yards. He's an interesting case because if something were to happen to Jonathan Taylor, he'd be a top 10 back easily. He also had 2 catches for 15 yards, so he had more receiving work than Taylor in this one. Still, I don't think he's someone you want to roster unless you have Jonathan Taylor because he's not going to do anything for you until Taylor is hurt. And Isaiah McKenzie also had a carry for 3 yards. Michael Pittman, 10 catches, 107 yards, 13 targets. This is only his 2nd game of the year where he crossed 100 yards. And that's really surprising because he's been crazy consistent here recently. Definitely play him every single week, regardless of matchup, because he's like at least 10 points every single week he's going to get you. Awesome stuff there. Josh Downs, same number of targets with 13, but half the work, only 5 catches for 43 yards. He's kind of working back from an injury, though, so this really isn't that bad. We'll take 9 points. Alie-Cox had a catch for 30 yards. Will Mallory had 2 catches for 29 on 3 targets. Alec Pierce, just the 4 catches for 27 yards on 6 targets for him. Zach Moss added 2 catches for 15, and Kylan Granson did not haul in his only target. So not looking like you want to roster any Colts tight end at this point.